Hi, I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog, and today's deep thought is, what does an American accent sound like? And the reason I started thinking about this was with the movie, I think it came out 10 years ago, Elizabethtown. Orlando Bloom is one of the main people in that movie. And he's from England. And in the movie, he plays an American. And I thought, well, obviously we know that the British have an accent, right? But how do they reverse it? And of course, the funny thing is, we have the accent, they don't. They started this language, they get rights to it, and we're the ones, talking the wrong way, right? So what does that sound like? I honestly don't know. I'm stumped on this. But some ways that I'm trying to help my brain understand how this works is we have to look at the baseline. And for the baseline, I want to use what's called the flat accent of America, which is going to be the entire state of Iowa, also with Western Illinois. Those people supposedly have no trace of any kind of regional accent. They're just the most vanilla version of the American accent that exists. So using that as a baseline, which this isn't quite Illinois or Iowa, but Ohio. Ohio is pretty clean and crisp, and there's nothing too fancy about the Ohio accent. So that's my version of Ohio right there. But we also have to look at the extreme of the American accent. I've asked people overseas on Facebook, people I know, I said, what is a strong American accent? What would that sound like if someone has a strong American accent? They all said someone with a southern accent. So now I am from Alabama, but my mom's from New York, so I'm sort of watered down, but I do know how to speak the southern accent pretty well. So if we were going to be speaking southern, hey man, how about Alabama with that old Nick Saban? He's bringing it in this year, man, I tell you. So that's a southern accent. We've got the strength there, we mix it with the baseline, and somewhere in between, I guess, would be an American accent. But I still don't know how, if you are English and you have that accent, how you convert. It makes no sense. How do you speak slower? Do you speak less nasally? I don't know, because I have to think of my impression of what British people sound like, and not trying to be an insult to them at all, because again, they get the street cred for this language that we speak. But I'm going to attempt to do an English accent with no, I'm not going to talk about tea, because people always talk about sipping tea. So, I love England. You know, the blood pudding. Have you ever tried the blood pudding? Oh, it's delectable. Now that probably sounded more Irish. Again, I'm not good at that accent, but still, how do you get from whatever that was I just spoke to American, which is apparently what I'm speaking right now? So it's interesting, because if you're watching this and you're not American, you're probably getting a good dose of what the American accent sounds like. You already know. You get a full dose of it all the time. But when you live in this, it wasn't until I was an older child that I realized we're not even speaking this accent right. We were one of the last peoples to adopt this. So that's the deep thought. America has an accent, and people from England have to convert to our way of thinking to speak this way, the American accent. So I think it's an interesting topic. Feel free to leave any comments below. And the way I am, if you leave a comment, I'm pretty likely actually to just respond in another video. So that's my deep thought of the day. Again, my name is Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. And feel free to read my material there. If you think what I said today was at least halfway interesting and you made it all the way through the video, there's a good chance you'd like my writing style as well. You never know. Thanks for watching. I'm going to disappear.